I had a dream. Not that dream. I mean, I love that dream. I support it. And like most Americans, I long for the day when Dr. King's dream is fully realized. But today, I'm talking about a dream I had. In a way, it's not that dissimilar from Dr. King's dream. It's about love and acceptance. You know, when I ask to speak in front of you, it's because I have an idea or thought, and it's impinged itself on my mind. And it's powerful, and it's profound, and I want to share it. And then I write it down. And I realize it doesn't sound quite the same as it felt, right? So all I can hope is that today you get a little of the uplifting spirit that the dream gave me. With that said, sit back, make yourself comfortable, open your hearts and minds. Father, may the words of my mouth and meditation and thoughts of each of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. First, a note. This is not an allegorical dream. J.R.R. Tolkien has a quote that I think is quite apropos. He said, "I cordially dislike allegory in all its manifestations, and always have done so since I grew old and wary enough to detect its presence." He goes on to state that he much prefers applicability. He says, one resides with the freedom of the reader, while the other in the purpose domination of the author. So it's in that spirit that I'd like to let you know that I have neither the expertise nor the inclination to interpret my dream. But at the end, I will give a possible way it may be applicable to us. Okay then, the dream will no longer wait. In my dream, I was walking through the woods. In the distance, I saw a house, maybe more of a mansion. It was fuzzy, almost as if I was looking at it through fog. I approached the house. It was beautiful, and I looked through a window, and I saw a room. It was yellow, my favorite color. It was warm and inviting. I loved that room. It brought me comfort and strength. I wandered to the other windows, and lo and behold, they all looked in on that same room. I thought that was a little strange, and I wondered about it. But ultimately, I dismissed the question. It was my room. I came back to that house often. I found others who also visited the house with the yellow room. We discussed it, we drew comfort from it, and we agreed that we were all lucky to have found it. And all was good. But then, I met other people. They found the house as well. And they found the room. Their room was red, or blue, green, purple. How could this be? Suddenly, I felt discord. I was uncomfortable. I didn't understand. I spent a lot of time thinking about this. I traveled to the house often. One day, I saw a young man, and he approached. He told me this was his father's house. And I asked him, I don't understand how other people can see different rooms. He responded very matter-of-factly, they're looking through different windows in the different rooms. But wait, there are no different rooms. He answered, my Father's house has many rooms, more than you can imagine. What you see is based on what you brought to the house, not the house. To see other rooms, it's you that must change. I still struggled with this. I asked him about it. He responded, do not think that for your truth to be truth, your brothers must be false. For there's truth in everything. Now I'm just a normal guy. I don't really understand this, but I meditated on it over time. I worked on trying to understand, but I can't say I fully understand it even now. But time passed. I continued to go to the house. And one day I realized the house looked bigger. And there were more windows. And I knew they were real. One day I went over and looked in one of these windows and saw a room. And it was purple. And suddenly, I realized that a huge weight had just been lifted off my shoulders. And a pain in the bottom of my gut had left. I didn't even know I had been carrying those. But I realized I had for years. Now I was free to embrace my brothers and sisters' rooms. And the diversity was beautiful. And there was harmony. And then all the people were gathered at the house. Multitudes. And we celebrated our differences. And more importantly, we recognized what made us the same. And what made us the same was much greater than what made us different. And I looked over, and I saw the son. And he looked at me, gave me a nod, and he turned around and walked away towards home. So there you have it, my dream. Again, in the spirit of Tolkien, I've been thinking about how could this dream be applicable to us as Christians today, in 2020, in Boulder, Colorado, on MLK weekend. Reverend Pam had given me a quote from Dr. King. I think it helps in this regard. He said, religion's purpose is not to perpetuate a dogma or a theology, but to produce living witnesses and testimonies to the power of God in human experience. I reflected on the dream and on the quote, and then it hit me. My dream was a one-man show. I wasn't just me. I was the Father. I was the Son. And that house was my house. You see, God created us all in His image. We had a house with rooms for all. As I mentioned to the kids, as we grow, fear and other influences tend to drive us to shut off rooms. We get to the point where we don't even see them. But we're called to have rooms for everyone. I believe the dream's applicability for us is to realize that we need to introspectively look into our own hearts. Do we really have rooms for all? Or is there no room in the end? Do we have rooms for those who look different than us? those with different beliefs, different orientations? Do we have rooms for those with different faith traditions? Do we have rooms for refugees, for the homeless, for the differently abled, for prisoners? It isn't an easy thing to do, to ask yourself, do I really have room for everyone? It's much easier to make excuses, trust me. But instead of making excuses for the rooms we don't have, we need to find them and open them. If we are truly to love our neighbors as ourselves, we must have rooms for them in our hearts. A place of comfort, safety, warmth, and protection. A place of love. Amen and amen.